Good morning children and welcome back to our SST class. Today we will revise our chapter, that is the United Nations. See children, this United Nations was formed on 24th October 1945. Clear? It was formed in the year 1945 on 24th October. This United Nations was formed after the failure of the League of the Nations, which was formed after the First World War and was dissolved after the Second World War, and the UN was formed, the United Nations, so that there is no other devastating war and there is no other hindrance in the world peace. Now this UN, it initially had 51 original members who signed the UN Charter. Now what is this UN Charter? This UN Charter is like we have the Constitution of India. In the same way, there is a UN Charter in which the rules, regulations and what are the duties of the UN, what are the functions of the UN, they are mentioned. The main principles of this UN are peace, harmony and international cooperation. These three are the main motto of the UN. Their main objective is there should not be any kind of war, and if there is that war, before the war, if there are chances to sit and have a talk so that the matter can be solved, this is the duty of the UN. Now this UN, it has 6 main organs. Now what are these 6 main organs of the UN? Organs of the UN. This UN, it has a structure according to which or with the help of which it functions. Now, what are the organs of the UN? Number 1, the General Assembly. Which is the heart of the UN, the main organ of the UN, in which all the 193 members of the UN have one seat, and the voting is done if there is any decision is to be taken, if there is a you can say a bill is to be passed, suppose the UN has to do something and they do voting before that to just to take a view whether it can be done or not. So there is a voting conducted in which all these 193 countries, they have one vote, and in this General Assembly they have one seat. Next we have the Security Council. Now this is the most powerful organ of the UN. Why? Because this Security Council takes care of the peace all around the world. If there is war going on in a place, or if there is an interstate problem somewhere, then this Security Council, what it does, it sends its peacekeeping forces to take care of that place and to solve the problem of that particular place. Now this Security Council, it has 15 members, in which 5 are permanent members and 10 are non-permanent members. Now these 5 members are USA, UK, China, Russia and France. Now these members are the permanent ones who have the power which is known as the veto power. If any one of these also uses the veto power, the decision which was taken by the UN or the Security Council, it will be dissolved. This is the special power which is given to these 5 permanent members. The rest 10 permanent members, they are elected for the term of 2 years, which means it can change also. But this 5 permanent members, they will not change. Now, while discussing this 5 permanent and 10 non-permanent members, don't you think, children, that why these 5 UK, USA, China, France, Russia, they are the only permanent members? Have you ever thought? Because these 5 permanent members were elected by the UN after the Second World War. When the Second World War got over and this UN was being planned, or when this UN organization was created, these 5 countries, seeing their present situation of that time, seeing their situation after the Second World War, on the basis of that, they were elected as the 5 permanent members, and this is the reason why they enjoy some special powers. Fine. Next, after the Security Council, we have the Economic and Social Council, that is the ECOSOC. Now, this ECOSOC, it takes care of the economical and social problem of the world, and it has specialized bodies and which take care of the things all around the world, and its main and important role is to look after the economic and social part of the world. Now this ECOSOC, it has specialized agencies also, about which we will talk after some time, but right now let's discuss the other 3 organs of the UN. This was the ECOSOC. Then we have the Trusteeship Council. The Trusteeship Council, which I told you that it is no more into action, and there are no future plans about this Trusteeship Council, and this Trusteeship Council was dissolved in the year 1994 when their goal was achieved, and their goal was that after the Second World War, when the European countries, when the few countries, they became colonies because they were not under any government. So what happened? They became independent colonies, and this Trusteeship Council used to take care of those colonies, whether the people staying in that place and the person who is the head of those colonies is properly taking care of the people and their needs or not. And when this goal was achieved, that all the countries, all the colonies, they became a member of the UN, and now there is no worry. In simple language, if we say, now there was no worry before this Trusteeship Council, that now yes, all the colonies are set in their place. After that, this Trusteeship Council was dissolved. Next, we have the International Court of Justice. I will have this. organs of the UN in which International Court of Justice, also known as World Court. It is the successor of the Permanent Court of International Justice, and as I have already written, it is also known as the World Court. It has a committee or a panel of 59 judges. As you can see, it is written there on page number 107. It has a panel of 15 judges which are elected by the General Assembly and the Security Council. And right now, the judge who is the present judge is Abdul Akwi Yusuf is the present judge, and its tenure is till 5th Feb 2021. And this judge, he stays on that chair for a tenure of 9 years. Clear, children? Next we have the Secretariat. Now, this Secretariat is the most important, or rather you can say the executive arm of the UN. Why it is the executive arm of the UN? Because this Secretariat is the one which decides the work of the General Assembly, the Security Council, ECOSOC, and this Secretariat does its work prior to the meetings of the General Assembly, the Security Council. This Secretariat is the one who tells or instructs the General Assembly what are the things which are to be done and what are the things which are to be followed in the UN. This Secretariat does its work for the, or you can say it does its homework well in advance, so that there is a proper plan of the UN and that plan is to be followed. This Secretariat is the one, we tell what is this Secretariat. If you don't understand, then simply if we say this Secretariat is the Prime Minister and the General Assembly and the Security Council are the one who are liable or whose duty is to listen to the Secretariat. Fine, children? This was all about the organs of the UN. Now coming to the specialized agencies which we did with the topic ECOSOC. They are number 1, UNESCO, United Nations Education and Scientific and Cultural Organization. Then we have UNICEF, United Nations Children's Fund. Then we have FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. Then we have ILO, International Labour Organization. And then we have WHO. Clear? Now, these are also given on page number 108. UNESCO, UNICEF, FAO, ILO, WHO. Now, UNESCO. This is the organization or the specialized agency of the UN which takes care of the education, scientific, and cultural part of the world. Whether the education work is going on properly or not, the scientific means the researches, all the inventions, or the like medicine part, not the medicine part, actually the research part, which is a very major part according to the scientific part, which is being taken care, and the cultural part, whether all this heritage sites are being properly conserved or properly preserved or not. There should be no harm done to the heritage sites. These are the works which are done by the UNESCO. Next we have United Nations International Children's Welfare Fund. Now it is Children's Fund which means they take care of the welfare of the children, like child labor and all. Then the children are given proper education and all. Like suppose if the child is of class 4, which level of education is given to that child? When the child is in class 10, which level of education is given to that child? So it is basically, its part is to take care of the education or the welfare of the children. Not education, I can say the welfare of the children. Next we have Food and Agriculture Organization, who takes care of the fisheries, agriculture, farming. All these parts are taken care by this agency. Farming, fishery, then agriculture. Next, ILO means International Labour Organization. It takes care of the standards of the labours. It takes care of the wages which the labours are being given. It sees whether the labours all over the world, they are justified and there is no sort of injustice done to the standard of the labour, and their standard is being taken care of according to their work, labour. Next comes the WHO, World Health Organization. This, as from its name, it's understood World Health Organization. The organization, the agency which takes care of the health of the world. If there is any disease, if there is any epidemic, pandemic, which already we are going through, and if there is something which is to be informed to the world with regard to the health or any kind of hazard, this WHO is the one whose responsibility it is to inform to the world that we should be cautious, we should take care of ourselves, what are the norms that we should follow in order to safeguard ourselves. It is an health organization. Even if any disease is there and any vaccine which is new for us, any kind of medicine which is new for us, which has any side effects or not, which has any side effect or which is not having any side effect, these all small things are told to us by this WHO. Fine. Next we have some important days are there which are adopted by the UN. Now what are these days? International Mother Earth Day, which is celebrated on 22nd April, which tells us about the things which we can do for our Mother Earth, and this tells us this day, it has its importance which makes us realize that we should opt more of eco-friendly things which are less hazardous to our Mother Earth. Next we have International World Environment Day. World Environment Day, which is celebrated on 5th June. This is celebrated on 5th June, and on this day, we, according to our level, whatever it's possible by us, we do. Like children, they make posters, they make different kinds of handicrafts, which shows that the environment is very important, and this environment should not be given any sort of harm, because this environment we stay. If this environment is being affected, so somewhere or the other we ourselves are getting affected. And this Environment Day, it also gives us sort of thinking, you can say. It ignites that part in our mind that we should not cut trees, we should not do deforestation, because if this greenery is hampered somewhere or the other with children, our lifestyle will be hampered. Clear? Next we have International Day of Non-Violence. International Day of Non-Violence, celebrated on 2nd October every year. As you all know, it is the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, father of the nation, who used to say we should not do non-violence, we should not do violence, we should avoid violence. So it is on his birthday every year this International Day of Non-Violence is celebrated. Next we have Human Rights Day. Celebrated on 10th December every year, which is coming. Today is 4th. After 6 days we have a Human Rights Day. This day makes us realize our rights as a human. What are the what are the radius in which no one should come, because that is my personal right, that a person should not be compromised. Every person staying on this earth has his or her own right. So this day makes us realize the importance of our rights. So children, by this we come to the end of this video, and I hope that this quick revision will help you understand the United Nations chapter very well. You can go through the chapter from page number 104 to page number 109, and along with this video I have uploaded the question answers, that is exercise E, given on page number 110. Do it and click a picture and send it to me on my WhatsApp number. Thank you so much children, and have a great day ahead. Stay safe, stay home.